There's no point in beating a dead horse, right? But here's the fucking thing. I want to know what it's like if I beat the dead horse so hard it cooks itself. Now, let's make it clear that putting two fictional characters up against each other, right? It's all for fun and games, having them pit against each other in a fight to the death. It's all for fun and games, and there's no reason to ever harass anybody for it, right? And, of course, I'm saying this knowing full well I'm gonna admit it right here, so you don't have to look it up or someone doesn't really have to bring it up, because I will go ahead and do it for you. Basically, I had engaged in harassment, and some people did, in fact, called me out for it and then blocked me. I was intentionally trying to essentially redirect the hatred to the people I thought more deserved it, but in the end, it didn't really stop it. But honestly, here's the big thing. The writers, obviously, and all the stuff. Again, this is not something to be super heated about, of course. But holy crap, and I'm pretty sure anybody at the time could agree with me that this death battle was one of the fucking worst. Like, I literally checked the freaking numbers. Like, Goku and Superman, the first one, the second one, nah, it fucking sucked. Those things sucked, but this fucking battle, Green Lantern versus Ben 10, holy shit, it's like, I'm for fucking recording this while I'm goddamn sick. Like, this battle was so goddamn worse. The ratio, the numbers, like the hate completely outnumbered. It just sucked that badly. And here's the goddamn thing. Why did it suck so badly? Well, at the end of the day, right, Ben 10 was like essentially screwed over beyond anything. Wow, fucking the Green Lantern had like every single power known to goddamn man. The power of imagination and willpower, right? Which, of course, then we have fucking Alien X who can do the goddamn exact same thing. And, if you're a complete newbie, you don't read comics, you've been on the farm for quite some time, and you're not like a nerd like me and all the other people who are screaming online about these drawings. Green Lantern is this guy who can conjure up whatever he can imagine, and it's powered by his willpower and stuff, right? His main colors are green, and sometimes he's scared of piss yellow, so whenever he pees, he loses all his powers, right? And then Ben 10, he can transform into anything, including a chair, with a freaking... Okay, let's not make that fucking joke. He's a shapeshifter, right? And can transform into all these different aliens and shit, right? And one of the aliens he can transform to is a literal god that can basically do anything he can imagine, right? And now you might be thinking to yourself, oh wow, what a neat matchup. Somebody who can create anything he can imagine, and then there's an alien that this kid can transform into that can do anything that he thinks, right? Wow, what a great matchup. Thing is, that's not how the battle went. This kid, this shapeshifter thing, has a device on his wrist called the Omnitrix and stuff, and this fucker, right? It has so many safety features like fail safe and all that stuff, yada yada. But Death Battle decided to just strip it all away from him. So like this dude, and this device can also mistransform as well. So like it doesn't even work as intended. So whatever transformations like this Ben 10's even fucking doing, right? Honestly, it may as well not even be intentional at this point. It's just by pure accident. Every single transformation is completely accidental. And here's the real funny kicker. Everyone who is a fan of, the company that has a lot of illegal activities on their back, but, let's not cover it in this fucking video. Especially since they're bankrupt, so I may as well just mention it, but you guys can go ahead and look it up. But they defended the company, the writers, and all the really, really horrible storytelling and the action, all that stuff. Because you see, Ben 10 in this alternate universe in this battle here is apparently, according to the fans who try to justify every single decision and mistake that has ever occurred in this battle, as Ben is schizophrenic. He is suffering from like multiple voices in his head and all that stuff, and he's suffering from immaturity, that is to say incredible stupidity. He doesn't make the right decisions. His Omnitrix isn't working, is always defective, never transforming into anything he wants. In fact, transforming into Alien X at the very end there was a complete bygone mistake. I can't believe he managed to accidentally do that, but holy crap, at least the one thing this Ben has going for him is his luck, which honestly ran out because, well, he's stupid. And the real funny thing is that this mentally incompetent Ben with like 50 voices in his head is like kicking one of the most powerful characters in fiction that can go back in time and imagine and do all these crazy things. This Green Lantern is omnipotent as all hell. He's got, Ben 10 has like 10 inches in his pants. Green Lantern has like infinity here. So here's the real reason why Death Battle Ben 10 actually lost. You see, it wasn't because he lacked the same powers, skills, or anything of the sort that the other bands had, nor even the fact that his objects were defective. It's because Ben was genuinely this stupid. And the entire time he was fighting, he's like this really mentally, like, there's like 50 voices in the head, and he's like fighting this random guy who just came in to freaking arrest him for like carrying a class fucking whatever device, right? And there's a good reason why like freaking Professor Paradox doesn't come in and save him, or Azimuth, because like this Ben is like so screwed in the head that they don't even fucking care, right? So they battle it out, they fight it out. All the transformations are accidents and stuff. Ben's not using his powers at all. And then when we get to Alien X, and then they fight it all out. Ben doesn't do like crazy universe shattering abilities or erase him from existence or do any like universe creating, galaxy spectacular celestial special effects. He just punches, right? Because that's all he's mentally capable of. And he makes clones of himself and does all that. And one of the fucking 10 voices in his head are like, hey, you know what you should do when you erase like Green Lantern's existence, right? You should do it very, very slowly, so he has a chance to fight back. All right, you want to make sure that like you want to make sure that this green guy with the green ring, right? You want to make sure that like he just can't fucking. You just gotta make sure it's slow and painful. Like this is what this Ben is thinking. This Death Battle Ben is psychotic. This fucker is like clinically insane. It honestly. In reality, Green Lantern winning was actually the lesser of two evils winning. Like, this guy assaulted a freaking 10-year-old kid, and, this 10-year-old kid is actually a genuine psychotic motherfucker. And, this kid, there's this child killer here who's, like, completely fine with like, completely squishing, hydraulic pressing this kid into a paste with an imaginary boot. And this guy's all Green Lantern's already kind of screwed up in the head, but he met someone worse, right? And this is Ben 10. Ben 10, all right. This Ben 10 is like more of a freaking monster than this guy with a ring ever will be. And and then it reaches the point where, like, Green Lantern's, like, beaten dead. He's, like, freaking injured in every possible way. He's basically dead now. And here's the funny part. This mentally deranged idiot somehow managed to beat one of the most basically omnipotent character in fiction as we know it. And, then this guy goes, time, huh? Thanks for the tip, and then travels back in time. And here's the reason why Ben lost. It isn't because he didn't know how to travel back in. No, he actually, maybe he did, but here's the real thing. One of the voices in his head probably just went like, hey Ben. Ben. He just went back in time, like, but who cares? What's he gonna do? Fight alongside his younger self? He'll need 10 of himself just to be an even match against me, so we don't have to go back in time. We got this in the bag, we already beaten him half to death. What the hell is he gonna do? And then, he just, like, doesn't go back in time. And his cocky, self-confident self lets his younger self die and completely destroys that timeline there. Completely alters history and the past as we know it. And just, his overconfidence let Hal win. And that is, like, absolutely astounding how dumb this Ben is. But the funny thing is, again, this Ben with who clearly couldn't even be bothered to check back and finish the job, who couldn't even, like, beat this guy with a stupid ring, who doesn't even have much of an imagination. His omnipotence is completely counterfacted by the fact that this guy is also just as stupid as he is, if not more. It's just that Ben is such an overconfident prick, even in the main series. Though not to this bloody extent, of course, but he just ended up freaking. He just here. That's the real reason that I personally love the fucking Believe. He just let it win because he just was stupidly cocky, and he died for it like an idiot. And of course, that's the funniest thing. Again, this mentally incompetent. I'm sure this doesn't fucking work. He is like suffering from like several mental illnesses that should be inhibiting his ability to fight at all, right? And yet, the fucking Green Lantern at the end of the battle could only win by traveling back in time, and was only let win. That's actually not. That's just me making it up. But here's the thing: him being so utterly incompetent, the most utterly incompetent Ben, the most utterly useless, most worthless Ben 10 in the entire multiverse, could beat the ever living shit out of the most powerful Green Lantern, black and blue, to the point there's no green left, and win. Until, of course, he traveled back in time. But here's the thing. Could anyone else do that and beat the ever-living crap out of them, and then just have to go? It's like Ben just went like, oh yeah, you can go ahead and travel back in time and kill me in the past. It's like the only way you can win. I'll actually let you. Go right ahead. You're like losing so bad. One of the voices is actually like telling me that I'm completely fine with it. I'm actually will be like freed from like these 10 voices in my head. These 10,000 voices in my head. There's like, I used to call myself Ben 10 because there was like 10 voices in my head. Now there's like 87 of them, and I know in the future I'm gonna get like 10,000 voices in my head, and I'm completely fine. Go ahead, slice me. Just cut off my arm. Do it. I have no sense of self-preservation. The Omnitrix doesn't even register my life as living. And that's why you can cut it off with the scissor. Go right ahead, Hal Jordan. Go right ahead. Because that's the only way you can win against me. Oh, wait. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm not feeling... Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no. I'm starting to fade away from the timeline. Oh, no. Oh, but yeah, no. Honestly, looking back at the entire thing, and like I ended up stumbling across the wiki while I was like doing some wiki search, like just a bunch of like searching back in the past, and then I see like a bunch of comments. Like some of them were accusing like Ben of like freaking having schizophrenia or something. They never watched the actual show, but here's the thing: I'm gonna freaking humor it. I'm gonna humor every single bad rumor about freaking Ben 10 and like all the stuff that makes him underpowered or why he'd lose even to like a regular powered Hal Jordan. Yeah, no, it's funnier that way. It's funnier that way because we have like this very, very like this is the only we have the Joker and his mental illness gives him like super psychotic like superpowers with like crazy genius that can't be predicted. But like with Ben 10, it's like wow, he's getting underpowered to crap him back. Like we're making sure that he's underpowered by every single measure. In fact, all his aliens punch like a 5-year-old baby. It's like this Ben 10 can only transform into 10 coughing babies versus Hal Jordan, who is like can conjure up a hydrogen bomb and every other nuclear arsenal in existence. This is how the fight's going. Yet somehow this coughing baby, 10 coughing babies, one by one can somehow beat the ever living shit out of a hydrogen bomb, black and blue, which is absolutely hilarious. I love it. That's the real reason why Hal Jordan never lost or won. Actually, it's because he was put up against the most unstable, most incompetent Ben of the entire multiverse, which is saying something because I've seen the reboot